Good afternoon, Muttonistas. Welcome to a cool, overcast Leipzig in eastern Germany for City's second group stage match in the 23-24 Champions League group stage. We played Leipzig in the knockout stages last season and the away game was very tough, leading to a 1-1 draw. Will it be difficult this time? Will City coast, or will City rarely, most rarely, fall to a third defeat in a row? Come join me for today's Matchday vlog. As you can see, the lads have been in good voice. They've been at it all afternoon. I've been taking it a bit easier today after a slightly heavy evening last night. But as always, food before football. And as it happens, last night I was taken by a local to a traditional German restaurant. And I liked it so much that we're going to go back again. So this Mephisto bar is a sister bar of the Auerbach's Keller, which is where I wanted to go and where I went last night. They're either full or they didn't want me in a football shirt, although I was in one last night. Anyway, I was assured that some of the same dishes appear on the menu here, so we'll be as right as rain. Anyway, the fact that you're all on this channel means that you've seen what's happened, that I've been hit with a copyright strike. I'm trying to work out what's going on. I'll leave further details when I get them, but for the time being I'm going to be very careful about places with loud music, and I'm going to stick my videos on this channel because if I get a second strike, I have a 90-day ban, and if I have a third one, then the channel, or my main channel, goes for good. So please stay with me here, folks. At least if nothing else happens, come the 2nd of January, that copyright strike goes away on its own. Anyway, on to the beverages, Muttonistas, and what else would you have than a local beer? It's actually not from Leipzig, but from a small village not too far from here. I had it last night downstairs, and I can assure you this is every bit as good. Now, just a little resume about Leipzig. It's not my favourite away trip. It's not the worst place I've been to by any stretch of the imagination. Quite pleasant. However, there are issues at the ground that I don't like. It takes forever to get there and come back, although I believe some buses are being laid on. Maybe Leipzig and City had a ton of complaints last year and they've done something about it. However, I'm going to get there pretty late because I remember last time I got there early, which is not my normal thing, and they were serving 2.3% beer in the stadium, 2.3. So I'm going to do my drinking in town before I head off. Hey, and also I have to inform you that last year they were confiscating power banks and all sorts of things. So I'm going to give my little phone a charge before we actually head off to the stadium, because I remember last year I was desperately trying to conserve power. Anyway, here's to a good game, and come on City. Okay, Muttonistas, the food has arrived. As usual in Germany, no-nonsense hearty fare, but they always cook it well with fresh ingredients and it has a lot of flavour. So down to the table, and we have wild boar, potato dumplings and red cabbage. And some of you may say, Mutton, what do you do? Where's the sauerkraut? Yes, I do love sauerkraut, but, you know, red cabbage ain't too shabby either. Very slightly pickled, so not too far off sauerkraut anyway. And here we are, the potato dumplings. Heavy, yes, but they soak up all the goodness and the meaty sauce surrounding the wild boar. Talking of which, that is so rich, meaty and tender, wow. And what flavour it imparts to the sauce. Definitely worthy of a quick slurp. And I think the beer is called Krositzer, if you ever see it. Well worth a try. Anyway, I'm going to get on with this two-handed, and I will be back to talk about football and YouTube issues, you could say contemporary issues, when I've eaten my plate full. Okay, I polished that off in no time, nearly finished the beer. It's so good I'm going to have another one. But something I just realised is that everybody's smoking in here. It's not causing me any problems, but I was a bit surprised. Maybe this is a specialty smoking bar. As I said, I did go to their main restaurant last night, so whilst I'm polishing off this and ordering another one, I'll just show you a quick few photographs of what you're missing downstairs. Anyway, Muttonistas, a few cultural things to fill you in on. Mephisto or Mephistopheles, the devil, featured in the literary works of Goethe, one of Germany's most famous poets, playwrights, novelists. And this bar, or the bar downstairs actually, rather than here, is over 500 years old. And the man himself used to drink here. He got a lot of inspiration for his works about the devil from drinking in said establishment. And for those who don't know, German beer does tend to have quite a bit of a head on it, so trying to get it sent back to be topped up is a big no-no here. So on to the YouTube issues, and unfortunately the strike couldn't have come at a worse time, the copyright strike I mean. I woke up today and it had been delivered at 7 a.m, so I didn't see it at the time. No prior warning, no copyright claim, which is what normally happens. Just a video taken down, forced down by a complaint from an individual or a company who owns rights. Still don't know what it's actually for. But until I do know what it's for, I'm going to stick everything on here out of an abundance of caution. It means, of course, because this channel is not monetized, that I won't be getting anything from the videos. But I don't want to lose my channel. And I don't want to lose you either, Muttonistas. So I'll carry on working, making these videos on this channel until the copyright issue gets resolved. And what about the football, you might ask? We did play out a 1-1 draw in the knockout stages last year. I remember it was a tough match. City had most of the ball in the first half, didn't do that much with it other than Mahrez and his goal. However, in the second half, Leipzig, who'd been sitting back, went for City and upped the pace, possibly because of a couple of half-time substitutions. Since then, though, Leipzig have lost Nkunku, their goal scorer, although he's got himself injured again. They've lost Szoboszlai in the middle of the park, their best midfielder, to Liverpool, and Guardiola, their best defender, to us. Whether their replacements have actually stepped up to the plate, I'm not sure. They had a spectacular result in the Super Cup against Bayern Munich at the start of the season, and they're in a reasonable 5th place at the moment. But given Rodri should be back for City, possibility of Johnny Stones and Bernardo being back, I think we'll have too much for them. Yes, we have just lost a couple of games, but for me, the massive difference is always Rodri. He is the glue that holds the team together, so I've got lots of reasons to be confident tonight. I'm not saying we'll necessarily win. I think it may well be another draw, but that's all we need. Anyway, I'm going to polish off my beer, not too much left in this glass, pop back for another beer on the way to the hotel, recharge my batteries for a while, given that last year I remember just going to the stadium with power packs proved to be a very bad idea. And I'll see if I can avail myself of these buses that go into the stadium. To be honest, given I can get a taxi in, the most important thing is that I can get one on the way back. Right, Muttonistas, I have moved on to the Augustina beer cellar or beer house, and you've seen me sometimes have a swift half before the game. Well, it's an hour and a half before kickoff, the stadium's miles away, and we're going to have a swift litre here. Lovely beer, but those things are actually quite hard to pick up. Anyway, I have seen people on social media and people talking to me saying, oh, City will breeze through this, breeze through the Champions League. Well, no, we've not been starting off like a house on fire this season, and apart from all the injuries, coming straight back after a really fraught treble last year, well, not so easy. Easy to have a hangover, and the effects of the World Cup in Qatar are not over. There was hardly a pre-season for our players. June the 10th we finished, the Charity Shield was at the beginning of August, not really much of a break. The team news isn't out yet, but I would like to see our players stretching the pitch here. I want to see more of Doku, I want to see more of Grealish, because it seems to me that particularly Doku can switch wings, stick Foden out wide. Matheus Nunes has looked impressive, except against Wolves, so if he's not having to play a holding role, I think he can add a lot to the team, and Rodri being that, again, frees these players up for other duties. Johnny Stones, if he gets to play tonight, can muck in the middle of the field. I was going to head off to the stadium, but the team news came out, so I thought I'd better have a swift half with that being half a litre, folks. City have experimented a bit today, not too much. We have up front, obviously, Erling Haaland, Grealish, Bernardo and Foden behind, so there's no room for Julian Alvarez today, even though he's been playing pretty well. Maybe Guardiola wants to stiffen up the midfield a bit, and the return of Bernardo is welcome. At the back, we have Gvardiol, Diaz, Akanji and Walker. Not too many surprises there, and Kyle Walker's been giving us some necessary width down the right. But the big surprise is in midfield. We have Rodri, of course, the most important player in the team, I think, alongside Rico Lewis. I'm not sure where he's going to play. He's played in the past as a defender and as a bit of a wing-back. He has played a bit in midfield, but where does he fit into this lineup? All will be revealed. Anyway, I'd better rush this and head off to the stadium because it is getting really late now. Okay, folks, arrived at the stadium. Of course, the taxi driver didn't know where the away end was, but having been here last year, I told him exactly where to go. And yes, of course, whilst those buses might well have gone earlier in the day at 5:30 for a 9 o'clock kickoff, none there when I got to the station, so a taxi it was. Not a big deal, €16. 1. It's not great, but it's not the worst I've ever tasted. 2.9%, my apologies. In, and I was about to report that the game was taking a carbon copy of last year, and I suppose with the first half goal, yes, it kind of did do so. The goal came from nowhere, really. We broke forward, we got the ball wide. I couldn't see who provided the assist at the other end of the field, but I did see Phil Foden bang the ball into the ground and it looped over the keeper. 1-0 City. 36 gone, and this is a bad game. It's an awful game. We've had most of the ball as usual, but we're not done that much with it. And the ambition of Leipzig is next to nothing. Well, it's half time, and that was one of the more boring games of football I can remember watching. Last year was quite similar, same coach for Leipzig, Marco Rose, but this was even worse. Same result at half time, 1-0. Not much else to report, really. We've had the majority of the ball, not being able to get past the packed Leipzig defence. Maybe in the second half we'll open up and make substitutions and go for it again. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, some of my friends are here, James and Brad, and I want to know what they thought of that first half, because that was pretty poor stuff. Not that City played badly, but Leipzig was so unambitious, it's untrue.
Defensive Leipzig, we managed to get a goal. Hopefully we'll scratch another one together in the second half. The support's terrible tonight.
Atmosphere is flat, yes.
Rubbish atmosphere, we're going to the pub.
Okay, in a way I can't blame the lads, because that was a bad watch, that was. Seems the half-time atmosphere in the concourse is better than in the stands. Anyway, slightly different half-time snack. Pretzel is pretty good. I usually never ask for these in Britain because they're usually not very good. Oh. Far too easy being caught on a counter from one end of the pitch to the other. A lot of players, when they look back at that, will be disappointed with their contribution, not least failing to muscle the forward off the ball at the end. And that came so close to the start of the second half, I haven't even finished my pretzel. Go on. Substitution, great work from Jeremy Doku to feed in Julian Alvarez, who placed it perfectly in the top corner. 2-1 City, it's looking good now. from City, totally unselfish, to feed in Jeremy Doku, who did the business. What a fantastic substitution. That's the business done tonight. 3 points to City, and probably that's the group sorted.
We don't give a fuck because we're all pistol. FCFC, okay. City.
Well, Muttonistas, not the best game I've ever watched. City well on top, and I'm pleased to say that in terms of the logistics, we were bust back pretty promptly, which is a massive improvement from last year. And well, they've been in Europe for quite a few seasons. I'm not sure why it's taken so long to do it, but anyway, they have done it. The 3% beer got to me again, so we're on the real stuff. And just to make up for that, I've ordered a schnapps as well. Well, what else would you do here? I think it's from Berlin. Let's deal with that swiftly. And I must admit that tasted a little bit medicinal. Anyway, as for the game, well, again, a boring game I thought, but City were well on top. 2 or 3 counter-attacks, one of which they scored from, were all Leipzig offered. They set up incredibly defensively, as they did last year in the first half. Differences in the second half, they had less to offer. Probably didn't have the personnel really to offer anymore. And although I think Leipzig will come second in the group, I think they're much weakened from last year. Of course, a draw I think would have been enough, but a win's a massive bonus. I can't see City doing anything other than topping this group comfortably. And I thought some players gave a good account of themselves today, particularly young Rico Lewis. I thought he was great today. Not quite sure what position he was playing in. And also the midfield dynamos of Rodri and Bernardo really energised the team. It meant there was more forward passing, not sideways passing. And Bernardo's a very versatile player, from mucking out in defensive midfield to getting behind them on the wing and feeding a fair few good balls across. Erling Haaland having a bit of a drought, but I'm sure he'll come good in the end. He did, though, have 2 chances which I thought he might have scored from. And I said it at the time, and I'll say it again, I thought the substitutions were excellent today. Jeremy Doku caused their defenders no end of problems. Of course, again, a very versatile player. He can play on either wing. And Pep Guardiola smelt blood when he brought Julian Alvarez on, and he is in a rich vein of form. What a finish for the second goal. What an assist to feed Doku through on the counter for the third goal. So not too much else to report from tonight. My next video will be Arsenal away on Sunday, so please join me for that on this channel. That should be a cracker to look forward to. But in the meantime, please remember to keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, especially on this new channel, because I might have to move some videos and footage over here. And most of all, don't forget, you can't beat a bit of mutton.